Hey, it's Big T. Today I'm going to tie a midge I'm going to call the Santa's Helper. Normally I would not come out with a midge called Santa's Helper until after Thanksgiving, but times have changed. This is a fly that I picked up from a friend of mine named Woody. I used to fish with all the time down at Beaufort Dam on the Chattahoochee, a tailwater, and between this and the moonshine midge that I also have a video on that I came up with, we pretty consistently caught trout on one or the other. This is a great fly, especially coming into this time of year where sometimes you've got to downsize. What we've got in the vise is a Big T size 16 midge hook. And I've got a countersunk silver bead. I think this is a 2.0 that I've got in the vise. Sometimes you can stretch that to a 2.4. Thread-wise, I'm going to use a UTC light olive and a UTC 70. I like the UTC and the Danville threads for my midges because they tend to lay flat. So we're just going to start our thread, wrap back a little bit, then wrap back up. And then what I'm going to do is tie in some small red wire. And then I'm also going to take a piece of uni black thread. And I'm going to tie that in along with the wire. We'll go ahead and tie this thread in first. The reason I'm using a uni on this particular application is because it does not tend to lay flat. Trim that end off. It's more of a rounded thread, more of a braid. And for what we're going to be doing with this, that just works out better. Touching turns, I'm going to wrap this and take it back around the hook bend and then come back up. Woody and I actually have a different name for this fly, but it's something I can't really disclose without my wife getting mad at me, so I'll just leave that up to your imagination. So we're going to tie in our red wire here. And if you notice, it seems like my thread is not laying as flat. If that happens, I'm simply going to twist that bobbin counterclockwise. And that tends to loosen that up so that it lays flatter again. We're going to come all the way back down to where we stopped last time and back up. And now I'm going to create a taper to the body of this midge. So the way I'm going to do that, touch and turns, I'm going all the way down, come back up. Then this time I'm only going to go 3/4 of the way down. The next time I'll just do about halfway down and then 1/4 of the way down. So we've got a tapered body. Now I'm going to go ahead and wrap my red wire. And I don't want these to be too close. So I'm probably going to get about, we'll call it 4 ribs in here before we get up to the top. And we'll secure that with a wrap behind or 2 and 1 or 2 in front. And then I'm going to helicopter that off. Next we want to wrap the thread. And we want to come right behind that wire. And this is going to give this fly, or that ribbing actually, almost a 3D effect. Almost like it's shadowing it. really seems to give this fly a sense of depth. Wrap behind and in front a couple times, and then trim that as close as we can and come in with a whip finish. Got my whip finisher tool screwed up. All right. At this point, you can certainly leave this fly just as it is. But if you wanted to, you could also come over with a coat of UV resin, a clear UV resin. If you wanted to give it a little bit of a sheen, make it a little bit more durable, that's certainly a possibility. It does tend to darken that fly a good bit when you do that, so it may not be something you want to do. Either way, that thing will fish well. It's great when blue wing olives are around, it seems, but just any sort of tailwater or time midges are present, which is just about any time. I appreciate you watching. For these materials and other fly tying supplies, fly fishing supplies, and visit www.bigtflyfishing.com, and please subscribe to my channel.